SteelTwins Nation? Welcome to episode 75 of the Steeler Culture Podcast. Today we will be talking about MUUUUUTH himself, Pat Freiermuth, as he is entering the last year of his rookie contract. You know, the decision that the Steelers made to decline to exercise Najee's fifth-year option gave us the interesting note that, you know, Najee's coming into the last year of his rookie contract officially now.
Yeah.
But so is a guy like Pat Freiermuth. Najee might be on the safer side in terms of an extension, and people think Muth might be in that area as well. Muth might be in line for an extension, but in our personal opinion, Muth still needs to prove himself. 2024 is going to be Pat Freiermuth's make or break year.
Yeah, it really is.
Because there is still some concerns regarding Pat Freiermuth, him playing the tight end position, him staying healthy, and what he can really bring to the table for the Steelers offense. Now, we do know what he can bring to the table for the Steelers offense. We've seen it the first 2 years of his NFL career.
Yeah, 7 touchdowns in his rookie season with Big Ben, and then he had 732 receiving yards in his second year. He was a standout target for our rotation of quarterbacks that year.
He was also only the second tight end in NFL history to start his NFL career with back-to-back 60-yard reception seasons. So we do know what he can bring to the table. We know his impact. We know the usage we can use for Freiermuth.
Yeah, we know the capability that he has as a true Steelers tight end.
We know he can be an absolute standard on the offense. We know he can be a target. There are just some concerns that are consistent. And the thing with Pat Freiermuth is we actually saw what he can bring to the table last year versus the Bengals in our first matchup versus the Bengals. You know, Matt Canada's first game removed from Steelers OC.
Correct.
He had a career game. What was it, 9 receptions, 120 yards? His only 100-yard reception game ever?
Yeah, but he was the primary target. He was a big key into the offense, garnering 400 yards for the first time since Matt Canada was fired.
Yeah.
He was a big, major component of that.
Yeah, not only did he have 120 yards, he had 5 first downs. So we know he can be a worthy target. We know he can be trusted. We know he can be that dependable guy. He may not end up to be one of the best tight ends in the league like we would hope so, although he still does have that potential because he's still only 25 years old.
He is.
He's still incredibly young, so he still has that potential, but he can be one of those very dependable tight ends for any quarterback in the league.
Yeah, that security blanket, quote unquote.
Pretty much. So we know what he can bring to the table. We know what he can do when he's used properly, when he's actually given targets, when he's used up in the middle of the field, when he's used in the slot, when he's used to the best of his abilities. But that also means when he's healthy. And that's his biggest issue is, can Pat Freiermuth stay healthy? He has a long history of concussions, and just last year, he was placed on IR with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, that was a lingering injury. Even when he came back, you know, he was still dealing with that from time to time. It was a lingering injury that he was dealing with. When it comes to last year, he only had started 9 games out of 12 games he played.
Yeah.
Only 32 receptions for 308 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a career low. He only played 12 games. He was on IR, like we said, because of the hamstring. Keep in mind, he had 2 concussions his rookie year. And in between those injuries, he has had just these moments during games where he's just hurt. He may not be hurt for long, but let's be honest, man, he's kind of soft. Like, for a tight end, for a guy that plays the tight end position, he doesn't really play like a tight end. He doesn't have the toughness like a tight end. So his injuries are absolutely a concern in regards to not only this season, but his future as a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
You know, that's a massive concern. And even his ability as a blocker, it's incredibly inconsistent.
Yeah, and not just his blocking capabilities, but I would say his impact from game to game. When it comes to him being that security blanket, when it comes to him being that credible tight end, I would say that his play overall as a blocker and even as a target is a bit inconsistent.
Yes.
Though he's 25, he's still got room to grow. He could definitely work with that. And if I were to give him the benefit of the doubt, he did have the worst quarterback play throughout his career.
All of our offensive pieces did.
And the worst offensive coordinator in NFL history.
All our offensive pieces did. So I don't want to put all the blame on Pat Freiermuth because, yes, everybody was underutilized for years. Everybody. Even Pickens. He had 1,000 yards last year plus, but he was still very highly underutilized. So, yes, that needs to be said. So, that's why we give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's why we say, you know, he can still be a good tight end, a top tight end. He still has that potential. We just need to use him. And with Arthur Smith now put in as the new Steelers offensive coordinator, there will be a ton to see of Pat Freiermuth because he runs 12 personnel heavily. In fact, he used 12 personnel. What was it, 42% of the time last year with Atlanta? He was top 10 in 2 and 3 tight end packages. So get ready to see a ton or the entire tight end room when it regards our Steelers scheme this year.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of tight end usage. Muth will see a lot more time on the football field as long as he can stay healthy.
But the durability aspect in that too, you know, that's what's going to have to stand out for Freiermuth.
Yeah.
If Arthur Smith plans to use 2 to 3 tight end sets, 12 personnel very heavily for the majority of the time, that durability for Pat is definitely going to have to come up big.
And because he runs 12 personnel very heavily, that also explains why he's so run dominant as an offensive coordinator. One of Muth's biggest negatives is he's just a very bad run blocker. He is just terrible. You know, there was a little bit of improvement towards the end of the season last year, but he's still not a trusted blocker. Why do you think they drafted Darnell Washington? Because Muth cannot block, which is why I also, you know, fall back to me saying he doesn't play like a tight end. Like, if you're going to be a tight end in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, you need to learn how to block. And 3 going on 4 years now, he just has not honed down on that craft. He has not. So the fact that we're going to be run heavy still. We're running a lot more tight end usage, a lot more tight end packages. That's where he's going to have to improve his game a lot, is himself as a blocker, his strength, his toughness, his ability to get to the second level, you know, work those blocks, create gaps for the ball carriers. He needs to be a good run blocker. I have my doubts. But I'm willing to give him a chance because, I mean,
Of course.
he's coming to his 4th year. I'm sure he'll be used a lot better than he was his first 3 years. Whether that will translate to targets or yardage or stats in general, that is yet to be seen. But we know he'll be used a little more prominently.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith loves his tight end, man. He loves the entire tight end room. So not only will we see more of Pat Freiermuth, we'll see a ton of Darnell Washington. We'll see a ton of Connor Hayward. We'll probably see a ton of Michael Pruitt as well. So get ready to see a lot of the tight end group. But the starter there is clearly Pat Freiermuth. So this is make or break for him. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to get better as a blocker. And I trust Smith to use him properly and give him targets. It's up to Muth to make the plays. We know he can because he has in the past. There's been some inconsistencies, but we know he can do it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of him actually executing. That's the biggest thing with Pat Freiermuth is execution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the entire offense in general. But in regards to this topic,
yeah,
absolutely Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, and we're not asking Muth to have a Travis Kelce-like season or a George Kittle-like season. It'd be nice for him to just break out and have that type of season, though I'm not anticipating it.
Well, we're just not an offensive scheme
no,
to,
of course
to do
not.
that.
Of course not. All we're asking for is for him to be more durable, more credible, his availability to be his best ability to be on that football field, for him to catch those footballs, to be a better blocker, just for him to be a better overall player, a better overall impact player for the Steelers. Give us a reason. Show us why we selected him over the center that we don't have.
And I'm glad you brought that up because if you guys haven't seen, there's been a trend lately with what Omar Khan has been doing. He has been slowly but surely every single year fleshing out, getting rid of the Kevin Colbert funk. He is getting rid of the guys that came in before he was promoted to general manager. He is getting rid of the guys that he himself did not draft. Chase Claypool, gone. Kenny Pickett, gone. Kendrick Green, gone.
Kevin Dotson, gone. Everybody
Who's
else.
next?
Everybody
Who's next?
else. I mean,
who's next?
Dan Moore's he's soon to be on his way out for sure.
Potentially, maybe Najee. Maybe that's why they declined his 5th-year option. Muth could very well be, along in that category. I'm just saying, there's a trend here. He's getting rid of what Colbert did, which is a good thing, and he's putting in his guys. He drafted Darnell Washington at 98 last year. I want to go back to this. They drafted Darnell because of his blocking ability, but he's not just a blocker.
No, he showed that at Georgia.
I think he is underrated as a vertical threat. He's not the most athletic. He's not the most agile. In fact, if you see his route running clips, he's pretty stiff. But I think he has the height. I think he has the advantage. And I think we could utilize that a little more. And if that is the case, and Darnell shows a little more in his second year, which fingers crossed he does, he could very well make a strong case to be like, hey, I could be the tight end one.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. That's why Muth needs to step his game up. For a lot of reasons. But, mostly because he's in a contract year. He wants to be retained, or regardless, he wants to get the bag wherever he goes, right?
Yeah.
As a tight end one.
And although he's shown bits here and there that, hey, he can be that credible tight end, he can be that very handy player for the offense, he's shown it, but he's got to show a little bit more. He's got to show it more consistently at that. He's got to be able to stay healthy.
Yes, he does.
That's what we're asking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I have fallen a little out of favor of Muth. I've been a big fan and a big supporter of Muth ever since he came in.
I'm still a fan of Muth. Don't get me wrong.
No, because, again, we understand and we have watched what he can do for the team, what he can do for the offense. We know he can do it. And I think we have a coordinator that'll actually use him to the best of his capabilities. It's just a matter of if Muth can execute, if he can stay healthy, if he can step his game up, if he can improve as a blocker, if he can be consistent. All those. If he checks all that, then we could be looking at a great year for Pat Freiermuth, especially since we still, as of now, don't really have a true wide receiver too. Roman Wilson, potentially, but still an unknown. So, as of right now, our only primary pass targets are George Pickens, and I would imagine you have to put in Pat Freiermuth there.
Yeah.
So this is going to be another big reason why this is a make-or-break year for Freiermuth, because I do think that we could see a trade for a receiver, but not immediately or not so soon. Might not be till maybe the trade deadline. If I had to give you a realistic and an honest, opinion.
It could take a bit.
But then that would give Pat Freiermuth more targets, more reason for the Steelers to get him involved.
Yeah.
Because they need targets. They need dependability. It's up to Muth to step up to the plate.
Yeah, if he wants a payday, if he wants an extension, if he wants to remain with the Steelers, he's got to show it. He's got to give us a reason why.
And I'm going to say it right now, man. If he stays healthy, I feel very confident that he can. Because we've seen it. We saw it versus the Bengals last year. We saw it his first 2 years. We saw it when he had Ben as his quarterback. As his quarterback.
Yeah.
So we know what he can do. So let's see it. I'm rooting for Muth. I really am. So we're hoping Muth has a good year this year. This is a make-or-break year for Pat Freiermuth. Otherwise, I do really feel like Darnell could be that tight end one, man. I really do. Because, again, Arthur Smith uses a lot of his tight ends.
Yeah.
He uses them a lot. Like, he fleshes out targets even to the backups. We saw that in Atlanta. We saw that in Tennessee.
Yep.
He's not shy of feeding anybody the ball in the tight end room. So, again, Muth is going to have to step it up. And if he doesn't, maybe Darnell shows you why he can be the one to step up.
Hey, we'll see.
Just throwing it out there, man. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. How you guys feel about Pat Freiermuth coming up in the 2024 season? Do you think this is a make or break year for him? What are your thoughts about Pat Freiermuth? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat below. Appreciate you guys, man, for watching. See you in the next one. Here we go, Steelers.
As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!